Welcome to the Anchor Your Retirement podcast. I'm your host, Barbara Gullen, hanging out in the studio, our new studio today, for those of you who are on video, with my co-host, Tony Shore, who happens to be in a different studio today as well.
Yeah, I'm in the official studio for once. Normally, when we record this, I'm working from my home studio. Today, I'm actually in the main podcast room, actually, my podcast room or radio room, as we call it, here in the lovely Gradient Financial Metroplex in beautiful downtown Arden Hills, Minnesota.
It's wonderful, but I got to tell you, I miss seeing the record collection.
I know. A lot of people comment on that. I have so many records, much
Yes.
to my wife's dismay. But,
How did that record show go a couple weeks ago? Or
it
last
was a
week?
little slow. This one
Oh,
was a little slow, but I still sold about $350 worth of records. So
awesome.
not bad. The last one I sold over $600 worth of records, and then
Wow.
900. But the next one is January 18th, and that's a big one. That's the
Oh, my
one
goodness.
most people go to because either they have Christmas money or they're just
Mhm.
ready. January is a slow time for regular music releases. It hasn't really ramped up yet. So
Mhm.
people go to record shows in January and February. It's winter. There's not a lot else to do in Minnesota. So, as you know, in
You're
the
gonna
Midwest,
have a busy week that week.
I am because it's the weekend after Summit.
It is.
Yeah.
My
I'm
goodness.
excited about the big Gradient Financial Summit, which you and I will both be at. That'll be fun.
Yes, yes. Maybe we'll record a podcast there and be in the same room together for a
That would
change.
be amazing, Barbara. That
Well,
would be great.
put me on the calendar. Now,
Okay.
gonna shift gears a little bit because those of you who are watching us on video are wondering why I have a Santa hat on.
I was wondering that myself. I felt a little underdressed. I wasn't told this was a Christmas themed episode. I thought that would be a few episodes from now, but
It will be, and this isn't a Christmas themed episode.
okay.
But I just wanted to let everybody know that our office at 5700 Broadmoor, Suite 500 in Mission, Kansas, is a collection site this year for the Marine Corps Toys for Tots. And we are so excited. We've already filled almost one of the 2 boxes that we ordered.
Yay!
Yes.
The crowd's going wild, Barb.
But it has been so neat. We've had so many clients that have sent toys our direction to
That's
help
great.
kids. It's just really exciting to be in a place where we can give back to the community and love having people drop in. We also have an Amazon wish list to make it easier for those of our clients that are out of town. And special thanks to those out of town clients that have sent gifts because y'all are just amazing.
Oh,
So
wow. So you've even had people from out of town send you
we
gifts?
we have,
Wow. That's a
because
great idea.
with our Amazon wish list, it's super easy. You just click on the QR code and it gets delivered to our offices. So,
Where do you access that Amazon wish list or QR code?
we should have the QR code up on our Facebook page.
Okay.
Um, and if not, by the time this goes out, I'll make sure it's up on our Facebook business page.
And the Facebook page, if I want to search for that page, what is it under? What
It
company
is
name?
under BG Wealth Management and
Okay.
BG Wealth Advisory.
All right. That sounds great. So, Barb, the Toys for Tots, I know that it seems like you find so many ways to give back to the community. And I know that's so important to you and your staff there to do. That's why you do what you do. I think
It
that's
is.
fantastic.
It is. I believe that to whom much is given, much is required. And so we try to turn around and give back, because it's just you make your community better by getting involved in doing that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's great. I know you have, I'm on your Facebook page right now, and you have a video of your new media room. And you even
Yes.
have multiple locations for filming and recording in your new media room, all set up. It's beautiful. The artwork is
Thanks.
fantastic. I think that's great. So you
All of
commissioned an
the art,
artist, huh?
yes, the geometric art was done by an artist in, Lawrence, Kansas, not too far from here. I saw her at an art show, and she came in and looked at our color scheme and understood what we wanted to do and made those pieces custom for us, and the photography is also a local artist here. The photographer also happens to be a cabinet maker, so he custom made the frame that you see around the cityscape of Kansas City. And then in our office, we have several other images that he's taken, and they are decorating the walls. So,
Fantastic. And it's beautiful. I encourage all our listeners and viewers to go to your Facebook page. Just type in BG Wealth and it'll come up, BG Wealth Advisory and Wealth Management. And feel free to follow that Facebook page. You can
yes,
see our lovely mugs on there with clips from the show.
you
But the
can.
video
And
I like is the new media room. And of course, there's a part of that video who steals the show is the
oh,
dog in the red
yes.
chair.
That is Huck. That is our office puppy.
Huck is so cute. I love that hairdo Huck's got going on, that long
Yeah.
hair.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's like a living Muppet. The way
He
he
does look,
bounces
that's
around the
exactly
house.
what he looks like
Yeah,
a
the
long-haired
house, the
Fozzie
office.
Bear or Muppet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he prances. He is so happy when he comes in here. I think he's about 7 or 8 months old and is just, I mean,
Oh.
he's incredibly well behaved.
Yeah,
Um,
he's just laying in one of the chairs there, looking
yep.
at the camera like, "Why are you filming me? What's going on? I didn't sign a release form." That's his face. The face that Husk is making is he looks up at the camera like, I don't recall signing a release form.
It was
Uh,
more that, Christina was filming the video, and she was like, "Now stay, Huck, stay, stay," because he is just one big ball of energy.
that
We've
is
got,
so funny.
well, the office is 3,600 square feet, and so we've got a long hallway that we toss a tennis ball down, and he loves to run and catch it, and, he's a great little brain break for everybody in the office.
Sure. Well, I think that's great. When you say Christina, was that Christina Walsh
No,
from
Chris
our office? Oh, okay.
no, it was Christina Shoemaker, my
Oh, okay.
paraplanner.
Oh,
One of
okay.
Yeah, she's also a licensed insurance agent and helps me do what I do with my clients so that we're providing the best service we can.
Yep. Yep. So I didn't happen to see a QR code, but I saw a lot of posts and links and information about the toy drive on your Facebook page.
Okay.
So listeners can go there. And I'm sure that you can have somebody post that QR code on there. Because if
We
you
can,
post it,
and I think
I'd like to send a toy
oh, that would be
from
great.
Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we put the link to the wish list up there because so many people browse from their phones, it's kind of
Yes.
hard to use
It's
the
probably
QR
on there.
code.
There's a number of posts. I like that. That's great.
Yeah. We're having a ball being a part of the community that gives back.
Yeah.
So,
That's great.
anyway,
Well, I know that it's open season, and
uh
I'm not talking about deer. I'm talking about federal benefits, right?
yes, yes, it is in fact open season, which is what the federal government calls their open enrollment period for
Sure.
federal employee benefits. And it started on November 11th. It's going to go all the way through until December 9th. And even if you are happy with the health plan that you have with the federal government and think that you have everything set up the way you want, I'm really going to encourage you to go in and make sure that it's still the plan that works for you. A lot of the health insurance providers for the federal government have changed up their plans this year, specifically the drug formularies. So if you are on a specific prescription medication, you're going to want to go in and check those plan brochures and make sure that your medication is still a covered one. If not, you're going to have to change to another plan that allows you to stay on that medication and have it as a covered benefit.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll tell you what, when it comes to these drug plans, you need to know what's going on.
You
Um,
really do.
it seems like it changes so much every year.
It
Um,
does. I mean,
whether it's Medicare or federal employee benefits,
right.
or a regular employment plan. I know my wife and I were just like, oh, trying to read through everything. And your company's HR department, sometimes you get a good person there who really knows their stuff. A lot of
Mhm.
times they don't know your personal situation or what to recommend. So
Well,
you
and the
need to
thing
work
to
with
know,
somebody who's
right,
experienced with federal benefits like yourself.
because well, and here's the thing, HR employees are not licensed. They don't have a health insurance license to help you choose the appropriate plan. They don't have a securities license to legally help you allocate your thrift savings plan.
Right.
Now, one of the positive changes this year with the federal health benefits is that across the board, your out of pocket maximum for prescription drugs per year is $2,000. So that's a great bit of news for
Yeah.
people, especially if they're on a lot of medications. And
Yeah.
remember, even if you are a retired federal employee who is still on the health insurance with your pension, this is your open season too.
So yeah, I mean it's basically, and if you're for non-federal employees, it's the annual enrollment period is right now and
Mhm.
through December 7th.
With
Is
Medicare,
there a
yes.
time frame for federal employees as well, or
Federal employees can make changes from November 11th to December 9th.
oh, okay. So they
Okay.
get a little bit longer.
Right. But once that window closes, you are barring a life-changing event.
Sure. Yeah.
You are committed to those benefits for the rest of
Sure.
the year. And even if you have a life-changing event, I think they'll let you add or drop somebody. I don't think they'll let you change plans outside
Right.
this
No.
window.
Yeah. Yeah, well, federal and benefits, there's so much going on there. And Barb, I'm glad that this is where you specialize. You've helped so many federal employees. If our listeners out there are a federal employee and they want to review where they're at or the changes, all they have to do is give you a call at 913-553-6222 or go to bgwealthmanagement.com, set
Yep.
up that consultation, right?
Absolutely. And if you are a federal employee out there wondering why I have such a heart for this and why I am so passionate about it, my dad and mom were both federal employees when I was a kid. My dad made a career out of it. And if you want to find out what happened with my dad, we have an archive of our podcasts, go all the way back to the very first one, which was, gosh, almost a year and a half ago at this point, Tony, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it
It's been
was.
a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah. Yes. I
But
was trying to
that,
think.
yeah, it's been, gosh, I want to say like April or May, maybe July of 23 was when we started,
I think,
somewhere around there.
yeah, I think it was July of 23. Yeah.
Okay. Um, because that'll tell you what happened with my dad. A little bit of a teaser, my dad got not the right advice and
Yeah.
ended up in a real pickle with some stuff. But, I don't want to rehash it here. So when I say I've grown up with federal benefits, I've literally grown up with federal
Right.
benefits and working to help people understand how they can make the most of those benefits. As a federal employee, you're making on average 22 to 24% less than you would make in the private sector. The trade-off there is that you get a fantastic pension. And
The
also if
benefits are better. The healthcare
they
is usually the cost of healthcare is usually much less than if you were at a private company.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the thing is that even if you've got as little as 5 years of service, even if you go to the private sector after that, you can turn around and keep your deposits, and once you reach age 62, actually start to draw a pension benefit.
Yeah.
So,
Pretty
you know, there
amazing.
there are a lot of things that happen that are really to your advantage.
Yeah.
So, there are a lot of benefits that are available to federal employees, buying back their military time. Reservists can actually, if they serve long enough in the reserves, draw a pension and buy back that military time for civilian service. There are a lot of moving parts when it comes to being a federal employee and how you can make the most of those benefits. And it's my job, my heart, to help you guys figure out how to do that.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because my wife and I, over the years, we've been married almost 30 years, and we're like, how could we become federal employees? Because we have friends that are, and just
Yes.
the pensions, the benefits.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, there's not a lot of radio and voiceover jobs that are government jobs. That's the problem. So that's my field. But
you could totally rock the Robin Williams role.
yeah, yeah. I never. I mean, I could have went into the military and done Armed Forces Radio Network, the Armed Forces Radio Network. I actually was a stringer covering some concerts and events when I lived in LA for Voice of America Radio, which is kind of a government-funded military, somewhat radio. It's for the military and it's somewhat for the government. But I was just a private contractor, so that didn't count. But
No.
that was fun doing that. Got me into a lot of big gigs. I went to the
I
Roy
bet.
Orbison tribute concert as
Oh,
a
wow.
stringer for Voice of America. So I was backstage with the press, met Bob Dylan, met Bonnie Raitt, met Iggy
Oh,
Pop.
how cool.
Yeah, I got to hang out with Iggy Pop and Sid Straw, and Iggy Pop is he's this punk rock guy who hardly ever has a shirt on, gross looking guy, and I thought, oh man, what's he gonna be like, right? Super highly intelligent, just blew me away. So that was
Most
kind of fun.
musicians are. A lot of
A
people
lot of
don't
them
realize that it takes a lot of math to be a good musician, and whether you
Yes.
learn that intuitively or get the education.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just blows my mind.
Yeah,
But
his stage image and who he is in person were two very different people, though.
I
It was
believe that.
amazing.
I believe
And
that.
Bob Dylan was kind of a cold fish. Hey, how you doing? Shook his hand. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, but that was fun. Anyway, I don't mean to digress, but federal benefits are great, but you need to stay on top of them.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't maximize their benefits or utilize them in ways they should be, right?
And
Or
a
they make
lot of them
mistakes.
make mistakes because they don't understand how all of their benefits work, which is why I am on a monthly basis hosting webinars where I train people on their federal benefits and doing a lot of work with visiting with people one-on-one to help them understand how to make the most of everything.
Sure. Especially right now. The reason we're
Right.
talking about federal benefits today is because we're in the thick of open season for federal benefits. And
Yes.
I think it's so important for federal employees. This is the time when they need to reevaluate. And some out
Mhm.
there might think, well, yeah, I looked at it, or I like where I'm at. I don't need to change anything. But do you really know your big picture? What has changed? And you might need something different, might help you in the long
Right.
run. You need somebody who's going to take an unemotional look at it and look at your big
Mhm.
picture. And I'm not going to name names, Barbara Gullen, but I happen to know somebody who can do that for you. So is there anything else you wanted to add on this topic before we wrap up today?
I don't think so because it's so personalized. I
Yeah.
really want to visit with people one-on-one. I would, however, like to acknowledge the fact that this is the first podcast we have started in months where we did not talk sports.
Yeah, we let that go for a while. We'll save that. We'll save that. Maybe next week. Maybe next week's show. Maybe next week's show. But let's reiterate, Toys for Tots.
Yep.
Go to the Facebook page, BG Wealth. If you type that in your search bar, or BG Wealth Advisory, it will come up. There's links in there,
Mhm.
and you can stop by the office. There's contact information. Barb, let our listeners know how they can set up that no charge consultation to talk about their benefits during open season.
Sure. They can call us at 913-553-6222. And you gave our main website before, but we also have a website, anchoryourretirement.com, that will also take you to a contact page where you can reach out and we will gladly set you up with that complimentary consultation with somebody who understands how your federal benefits work. And just one more quick note, for those who are listening who are local, on December 6th, we will be out at the City of Mission's tree lighting, holiday lights and festive sights. We will probably have the Toys for Tots collection box there as well, because that's a week before the deadline to get all of those toys turned in so that the Marines can do their job and get them sent out to the families that need them. But we look forward to seeing you guys there too. There's going to be s'mores by the fire, lots of other fun
Nice.
things to do along with the tree lighting. It's a great family event. It's across the street from a couple of really good restaurants. So if you are local, come out and join us that evening from 5:30 to 8:30.
All right. And again, more information, just go to anchoryourretirement.com. There's
Yep.
contact forms, links to the main page, and you can listen to this show and past shows right there. Thank you so much, Barb, for a great show. Thank you,
Thanks,
listeners
Tony.
and viewers, for tuning in. That does it for today's episode of Anchor Your Retirement with our host, Barb Golan.
We'll see you soon.